Hello YouTube, this is Truthology, the Truthologist, and I want to give all praises to the Creator and nobody else. If y'all are wondering why I always start video off indoors, it's because I have a weird neighbor. He's a white guy, but he just keeps staring at me. Every time I do something cool, he tries to imitate it and do it himself. Or if I take my trash out, he takes his trash out, but he never says hey. If I wave at him, he'll wave, but I don't know, man. He's kind of weird, but and he just keeps copying off me on a more minor scale, though. Like he doesn't copy exactly off me, but he does like things, I guess, trying to relate to me or whatnot. But I don't know. But I just finished on harvesting the rest of that mustard greens that was out there, so I got a good bunch of those. We're gonna go on outside and talk about what we're gonna talk about on this video. Okay, guys, I tried to record this video earlier, but the phone for some reason overheated and it stopped recording, and there was so much information on there that you guys needed to hear about what I'm doing. So I guess you have to go back to my first video to see what my garden looked like before this, because I just showed everything I did, literally. Yeah. As you can see, you don't see as many weeds or anything here anymore. Everything looks pretty much beautiful or whatnot. Looks like it's ready to plant in. I'm gonna try to go back over what I did. Let's see if talk about what I was talking about in the other video. Let's see if I can find. There you go. Yeah. See this? I have lots of worms in my garden. I add them every year, even though it doesn't really need them. Like, they're just super abundant. I guess I'm just adding more genetic diversity to the worms. But yeah, worms are and these are red wrigglers, by the way. Red wrigglers. Okay. And I literally only added like a handful of them to the compost bin. Let's go over to the compost bin, because I showed in the previous video. I showed in the previous video all the dirt that was in here. This is a compost tumbler. I mean, you don't need a fancy compost tumbler to make compost, guys. I just have different priorities. I like to invest in like being healthy and being able to survive, so I don't spend money on flat screen TVs and stuff like that. So I mean, it's all about where your priorities are, but you don't really need it. You can do all this stuff on a budget. As you can see, this is what's left in here, but as you can see, most of the good stuff is in the garden. All right, let's go back over here. So I put that first layer on there to cover up all the weeds, if you saw that in the first video. And I also added a layer of mushroom compost on there. That's just to add more bacteria and, let's see here, bacteria and fungi. And like I was explaining in the previous version of this same video that stopped recording for some reason, your bacteria, everything survives off bacteria and fungus. No things don't necessarily survive off viruses and things like that. Our virus is a totally different thing, so. But bacteria and fungus, we need that. That's what makes up most of our immune system. And that goes for anything that lives and eats food. It needs bacteria and or fungi to help it break down food. Like a good example would be a termite. I mean, they have bacteria in their gut that breaks down wood. Same thing with humans. If your gut flora is off, you want to have a hard time digesting your food, that leads to a lot of health problems. One thing I would like to tell people to try to look into is milk kefir and or water kefir. That's good for boosting your microbiome in your gut, which is part of your immune system. Like I said, man, it was a lot of information in that first video. I'm sorry that y'all missed all that and missed me putting this together. I mean, because to go from what it was looking like, yeah. But also, if you notice, I didn't till this garden. You see I'm still pulling out weeds because all I did was just cover it up with the compost I made and the that compost from the store. So that gives a good variety of bacteria and fungi. All these worms you see out that I just showed you earlier, I only added a handful of them to the compost bin, and they just populated the whole bin over the winter. And the reason why I do that and finish the compost off with worms instead of heat is so that the worms can poop in it. Worms make they have a lot of nutrients in their poop. It's like the best fertilizer in the world for the most part. Like, if you ever notice, it's like the most expensive fertilizer in the store, really. Worm poop. So I like to incorporate that in my garden. As you see, some egg shells, they're breaking down, just calcium and all that. So and it doesn't stink. When you break down compost, it's not gonna stink. But yeah, that's that egg. I don't know if I showed it on the camera, but yeah, the egg shell. But it's egg shells throughout all the compost. It's just a little bit of calcium. Those greens I just showed you, they were sitting over here in that other video, the first video I made. There's the garlic over there. I told you guys I wasn't gonna cover it up. I'm just gonna let it keep growing. But back to what we were talking about. We're gonna be doing the Three Sisters method of planting. That means I'm gonna put some corn in here. I'm gonna plant some Silver Queen. It's a long to mature variety. It takes like 90 days for it to mature. So it's gonna be well into the summer by the time it's ready. Look at that worm over there. Yeah, he gonna dig in the ground. But yeah, this is how it works. Okay, you have the corn first, and then you let the corn get to about 6 inches, and then you're gonna plant your beans. Your beans need the corn to grow up. So like, how you plant beans or whatnot, and you need to put trellises or tomatoes or whatever to help them grow upwards. You can use corn. This is called companion planting. It's like you plant things together that work together in nature. So yeah, the beans will grow up the corn stalks. And once the beans grow up the corn stalks, they're going to also fertilize the ground. And a lot of people don't know corn fertilizes itself as well. It has those little roots that be at the bottom of corn. They have bacteria in them. Keyword bacteria. That capture nitrogen out the air and put it back in the ground. So you have two nitrogen fixers going on. That you have the beans or legumes, and you have the corn putting nitrogen in the soil. So that's all good. Also, the next thing I'm going to plant after the beans start growing up the corn is going to be squash. Squash is good because it has broad leaves and they shade the soil. And what that's going to do is it's going to shade the soil and keep the soil moist and cool in the summertime. And that, and those three plants work together. That's why it's called the Three Sisters gardening method. I think there's a Four Sisters gardening method as well. I don't know. But I like this method. It reduces the amount of water I have to put in my garden. And it definitely reduces the amount of fertilizer I have to use. And the only reason why I'm going to use fertilizer at the beginning is because so I can go and get the corn going to grow. Get the 6 inches as quick as possible so I can start growing my beans. And I'm thinking about growing black-eyed peas this year, so. And maybe some field peas, I guess. But yeah. So now I'm going to go and get the corn. Oh, and there's one more thing I forgot out that other video that stopped playing, that stopped recording. The ants. We're going to talk about ants real quick. The only reason why you really have ants is because your soil is very hard and compacted, which is the reason why I have worms in my garden. If you don't have worms, you're going to have ants. That's just how it goes. Like, ants are only doing their job. They're aerating the soil just like a worm does. The ants are doing the same thing. So yeah, you don't want to get beat up by ants in your garden. You might want to put some worms in there. Yeah, grow some worms. And this, like I said, this worm population that I just added to here, because I could just reach my hand in here, it should be like worms. And look at that worm right here. I didn't even have to dig for. Yeah, worms in there. It's just wherever you reach in, when you want to rake around in this garden, there's worms. So that's what prevents ants from getting in your garden, man. It's all about being in balance with nature. You know, we got to try to get back to that and understand how plants grow, so you won't have to use so many man-made chemicals to try to boost up your yield and whatnot. All right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and get the corn seeds. I'll be right back. Okay, guys, I'm back. And I'm trying to remember what I've already mentioned. Let's see. I don't know if I mentioned that the reason why I don't till the garden is to keep those roots and let all these weeds and stuff right here. I'm gonna let all those things die in under the ground. Let them just die up under this top layer of compost and stuff that I made, and that mushroom compost. Let it cover it up, and once it gets smothered and die, it's gonna feed the worms all that old root system. The worms are just gonna go through it and make aerate the soil by eating all those roots. So that's the reason why I don't till my garden. It's all about staying in balance. If you stay in balance, you can grow anything you want. And all that old nutrients from last year, from all those weeds and anything like that, it's gonna keep growing. And I also mentioned that I eat weeds. Like this is like things like this. This is all edible. So weeds are good. I add weeds to my smoothie. The ones that are edible, not poisonous weeds or anything, but and you can always go out and get you a book and learn about wild edibles, and figure out what's poisonous and what's not poisonous. It's a whole bunch of plants out here that are good for you. I'll show you another example. It's a mint. Let's see here. Let's see if I can find one. There were a lot of them over here in the wintertime, but I guess not now. But they are a winter mint, so they only grow in the wintertime. There were some in this garden over here, but hey, that was in the other video. Oh, here go one. I think I see one that's still buried. Here we go. Yeah, this plant right here. This is a mint. Does it taste like mint? No, it tastes like greens. But the way you can tell something is a mint, let me see if it'll focus. It's because it has a square stem. This stem is square. And you just have to feel it for yourself. I don't know if it's showing up good on the camera, but it has a square stem, and that's what makes something a mint. That's what the mint family does. But you see how this one look? You probably see this all the time in the wintertime. There's one plant here. It's just a mint. It's not poisonous. It's not gonna kill you. It's food. And of course, when you try any new food, you want to try it in small quantities to see if you make it have an allergic reaction to it or something like that. If it's all good, then you can eat it. I didn't cover these strawberries over here. They're gonna just keep on spreading up, sprawling along the ground again. This is a pear tree I'm trying to clone. All I did was just take the branches and like while it was dormant and stick it in the ground. Now it's coming up. So hopefully it takes root. We're gonna see. All right, now I'm gonna go ahead and plant these corn seeds. Give me a moment. Okay, guys. I'm planting Silver Queen corn in here. It's a sweet variety of corn. Here, let's see. Silver Queen. Okay, and as you can see the spacing. I don't know if you can see this. This is a piece of corn, and right next to it is another piece of corn. And it's like that all the way around the whole garden. And I'm just gonna press them down with my finger and just cover them up. Cover them up. And that's how I'm gonna go through this whole garden like that. And as you can see, they're a weird looking piece of corn because they're very tender. So they look shriveled up really bad. So, and I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do with these extra seeds. Because like I said, guys, it's all about companion gardening. Okay, go over here to this old bed over here. Okay, you see this is what's left of my winter collards. Okay, you see I pulled some of these bags. I bought them. They said they were biodegradable, but we live and we learn, guys. That it's not biodegrading at all. Here's another one of those mints that grow in the wintertime. It's all edible, guys. I forgot what you call it, but if you get like a wild edible book, you'll remember this flower. You'll remember it. Okay, so now I'm just gonna add these over here, and the reason why I'm adding my extra seeds over here is because I do want to have one extra row of seeds. Dump these non-biodegradable bags out of here. They lied. Okay, and as you can see, I'm starting to get an ant problem, but I know how to fix that. Just add worms. That's all you have to do. And I'm covering, and this is kind of a hugelkultur bed, which means I put a bunch of wood down and cover that wood up with dirt. And as that wood breaks down, it's gonna fertilize the ground. Okay. All right. So now I'm planting these seeds about 12 inches apart. Let me snatch this one out of here. I'm gonna just push them in there. Try to get rid of all these little bags. Let's see here. I'm just planting them in between here. And the only reason why I'm planting them over here is about companion gardening. Everyone knows greens need a lot of shade, and I'm going to end up planting some purple tree collars over here in this bed to replace these other greens because they're going to go to seed. And we know once greens go to seed, they usually die, except purple tree collard. Purple tree collards, they are a perennial tree collard, and we're going to talk about that in another video. But right now, I'm just going to go ahead and get this corn in the ground. Let's see here. And you knows I don't do anything perfect or anything like that. And the reason why you plant corn so close, like 12 inches apart, is because corn is fertilized by the wind. So you got to be close enough to each other to actually feather dust each other. If you don't have any fertilized corn, then it's not going to produce any kernels for you if it's not fertilized. And that's the only way corn is fertilized, is just through that method. Well, there's one worm over here. Plant some of these extra seeds over here. All right, once I plant these seeds, man, hold on. Yeah, doing a little weeding as well. Leaving all these dry leaves in here, that's just mulch. Never throw away your organic material. I mean, unless it's grass, of course. Grass is going to take over everything, you know. So, all right, give me a moment. And if anybody wants to know why the first thing I'm planting is corn, other than the Three Sisters method, is because I love cooking corn on my homemade grill over here. I put the corn on the grill, got the grate over here. Okay. And put it on my grill with the husk still on it, and just grill it, man, and it come out the grill good. Everybody loves it, you know what I'm saying? It's good for cooking that. All right, guys. Let me see here. Okay, guys. Now that we got my corn planted, I'm gonna go over here to this garden. I might make another video today to see what I'm gonna do over here in this area, but I'm not sure yet. But here I have a book for you again. Y'all know I ain't gonna let y'all go without a book. So that's my thing. I love books, man. This book is called Survival Skills of Native Americans, and I have my son, aka my assistant, holding the camera for me. We're gonna open up the book, and it's a very good book, and it should only cost $17.99. But when something becomes popular, you know what happens. The price just seems to go up for some reason. But there's a lot of information in this book. It's telling you about how to make tools and shaping stones and everything that you can make without using like metal. Let's see, you got cordage and making a bow drill. But there's a lot of information in this book, guys. It even tells you how to make a bow and arrow, how to make arrows themselves. Let's see here. And the most important thing I want to show you in this book, they love to hide things in plain sight. I mean, they said that an American is the copper-colored races, plural races, that were found here when they came over here. So look at the different colors of these people. They have light-skinned people and dark-skinned people. And of course, these are all dark-skinned people over here. But yeah, they had the information, man. Let me see. Just keep scrolling through these pictures here. So we already established that this book has a lot of information. And yeah, these are more Negroid Indians. Okay. All right. They're gonna hide the truth in here. Look at these images, guys. I don't know if you see that one. That was a dark skin as well. Okay, got the sun glare on here, Let's see what we got. But yeah, it has a lot. It even tells about the Native American diet, what they ate. We didn't just eat corn, guys, and this is how we stored our food as well. So you guys need to go out and get this book. It shows how we stored our corn. They even got the squash. Remember the Three Sisters planting method that we're using right now? See, they're storing their squash as well. And they have grass and all that stuff to cover it up. And yeah, that's how they preserve their food back in the day. Here we go. Dump that bookmark out of here. Okay, look at this image here, guys. Look. You can see light-skinned Indians sitting with a whole bunch of dark-skinned Indians. It seems like the dark-skinned Indians were of the higher population. And yeah, you see the so-called Europeans sitting right here with their top hats on. And here's a chief. Here's people over here tending to the coals of the fire over here. And look at the dark skin right next to him. You see what I'm saying, guys? Look at this information. And right up under it says feast, because they were doing a feast right at this moment. There's a lot of information in this book. It isn't intended to be showing all this different stuff, but I mean, as far as like what native, I guess they weren't intending to show you what the natives look like. But I mean, they weren't all looking like Chinese people, As you can see, they're showing variety. Look at this, guys. Variety. All praise to the Creator, guys. And I'm pretty sure this book wasn't even intended to be showing that type of stuff, but it is what it is. You got to draw the truth, right? Look at all these different shades of ground we have over here. Son, you got to make sure the camera stays focused. And yeah, this is a very good book, guys. You got to go out and get this book. Survival Skills of Native Americans. And it has hunting, trapping, woodwork, and more. Very good book. We got to learn our culture. We got to learn our culture again, guys. Of course, we're not going to learn the hijacks and all the wicked shit we were doing to get the cause the conquerors to come over here in the first place. We're going to get back to the Creator, you know, and follow the Creator's laws and know how to be back, you know what I'm saying, know all of what we used to do. Okay, and like I said, guys, I might make another video today. I'm not sure. I could plant some more stuff over here in the other garden over here. We're gonna see though. All right, guys, until next time, all praise to the Creator, peace and love. Shalom.